Okay, so this is your Volcano triathlon debrief.
Here's my Volcano triathlon debrief. We're at the Sports Club Porto Calera.
We are.
It's a very beautiful day. It's a little bit of background noise because there's a little bit of a paddle match going on, isn't there?
Yeah.
To my left. It's not the rallies aren't the longest, I'd say.
No, they aren't.
I think their longest rally so far has been 3 shots.
But they're enthusiastic and keen.
Yep, they are enthusiastic and they look like they're having a lot of fun, to be fair.
So on to your Volcano tri then. So this was a standard distance race at Club La Santa.
It was only my 5th standard distance race ever.
And it was
years.
the week after we've done Challenge Gran Canaria.
It was.
And we've done quite a bit of training in the middle as well.
We have.
So what were your goals for this race?
Be less shit than the week before. So you've probably seen my Gran Canaria debrief, and I had a tough day out at Gran Canaria for lots of reasons. Probably difficult to isolate the specifics, but it was a difficult day. The race the outcome was good, but the way that the race felt was pretty tough going. And more than anything, I just wanted a race where I felt like I was in control of the race. The race wasn't controlling me. I had an element of flow to all 3 phases of it. Really, I didn't make any stupid mistakes, and I came away like having worked hard but not broken, because obviously we're also in the middle of a build-up block to Ironman Lanzarote, and I wanted to really enjoy it. We had 4 of us racing, didn't we? And I wanted to make sure that I had a really good day. A lot of other people I know, a lot of other friends from the island were watching and racing, so I wanted to enjoy it as well, which I found a lot harder to do at Gran Canaria because how tough the day felt. So those were my primary goals, I guess, from the race. They sound a bit vague, don't they? But those were the goals, yeah.
And then how did the race go against the goals that you set?
Pretty much bang on, to be honest with you, which is a stark contrast to a week earlier. So I was a bit worried in the build-up because obviously Gran Canaria hadn't gone that well. We'd then trained off the back of Gran Canaria very purposefully. So I'd only had really 2 easy days prior to the race. And I was a bit worried that fatigue would still cause me some challenges. I did feel pretty good on race morning. Didn't sleep amazing because I was a bit nervous about it. But not about the outcome, but about the day going, as I expected. You don't want 2 shit races going into an Ironman, do you? So because then you end up with a lot of questions about whether or not you're ready. So I was a bit nervous, didn't sleep brilliantly, but not too bad for a race night. And it went really well. Started on the very front of the swim because no one else seemed to want to start.
It was odd, wasn't it?
It was odd. No one wanted to go on the front, so we just thought, fuck it, we'll go on the front. I normally start on or near the front anyway, but it was a bit strange that nobody, even the elite boys, didn't want to go on the front, did they?
No.
So it was a bit
It was
odd.
literally just us at the front.
Yeah. A little group got away from me, so I let them go, and then I got swimming with a guy that was just probably maybe fractionally quicker than me or similar speed to me. So I thought, you know what, he didn't seem too keen to sit on my feet, so I thought, well, I'll just sit on his. So I had a pretty cruisy swim all in all because of that, which was good, and that's what I want to try and achieve at the Ironman, as well as a nice cruisy swim that's probably a bit quicker than I might do solo, but a bit easier than I would do solo. And finding that balance is always like the holy grail, isn't it, of swim racing. So that was great. Swim X is always a bit tough at the Volcano trail because you've got to run up this hill. I find that exhausting. Relatively slick T1 and then out onto the bike with some fast boys, one of whom, Nico, was way too quick for me up the first climb, so I just let Nico go. Some weird pacing from some Spanish guys, which always seems to be the case. They do like a full-on effort up the first climb normally, followed by immediately blowing up in the village at the top of the climb, which happened to 2 of them, actually, funnily enough. So that was a bit odd. I managed to manage my intensity. Could I have pushed a bit harder? Probably, but I decided that I would be sensible on the climbs in particular where these guys were pushing hard. I would use my power to restrict my output. Kept it to a sort of sweet spot type effort. Maximum threshold, not going above threshold, to make sure I didn't burn too many matches. Aero as much as possible. One of the things about the Spanish guys is they work hard on the climbs, but then they tend to be a bit shit on the light false flat descents, don't they? Or on the flat sections into the headwinds. If it's flat in a headwind, they seem to be rubbish.
Drop all the power.
Head crosswind, they drop all the power, they're rubbish. So I knew that would be the case, so I didn't worry about them getting away from me on the climbs or even overtaking me, because I knew I'd be able to come back and come back at them on the other sections, which I did. So it was really good bike leg, quicker than last year, which was good, probably on a slightly slower day overall, so that was pretty pleasing. Into T2, a little bit slow in T2, not really very well drilled for my standard and sprint distance T transitions. It was a bit of an Ironman transition, socks on, do my normal laces up.
Take a seat.
Chill
out.
I think probably if I was doing the standard distance more regularly, I'd probably opt for slightly shorter socks. No, I can't run in no socks. I probably could have run in no socks, but maybe short, quick socks. And probably elastic laces just for the race. I wouldn't use elastic laces normally, but probably elastic laces just for the race because, I probably lost a minute there, which was unnecessary. Maybe 45 seconds, but it was a bit unnecessary. But at the end of the day, it was good practice for what I'm going to do in the Ironman, so that was okay. And then got out on the run, didn't have any data at all on the run, so decided to not bother. Even sometimes I like to have it when I'm in training races to be able to review after. I thought, no, I'm not going to have it at all. Set out, ran a bit easier than I have in previous standard distance races, so sort of kept it below threshold because I thought I don't want to burn myself out, blow myself up, and I want to be in control of this. So it was relatively cruisy for a standard distance run, I would say. I mean, still breathing pretty heavy, and came in just 30 seconds slower than I was last year. And I really did kind of cruise a bit. I took my time there's like 8 stations, took me time to get water over me and stuff like that. Didn't push hard up the climbs because I wanted to make sure I didn't burn myself out for my next training block. So yeah, came in basically overall the same performance time as I did last year. Finished 10th overall, won my age group. I mean, those outcomes are a bit circumstantial because on another day I could have come 20th or 30th overall and not won my age group, but it's still nice, obviously, to have those outcomes. So it's a much better indication of where my fitness is at, albeit a completely different energy system and process to my Ironman. But yeah, reassuring. So it was a good day, really good fun. Obviously, it was really close to you all day, Lids.
Yeah.
So you came out of the swim about a minute and a half down, I think, something like a minute. No, not even that.
Not even that.
And I thought you'd get me on the bike, but you didn't.
I'm just waiting for Ironman Day.
Yeah,
when
course
it counts.
Was probably not quite so suited to such a
to.
small athlete. So I'm a bit bigger than you, and obviously that was probably a bit more in my favour on this one. So yeah, we were close together the whole day. That
it was good fun actually.
It was good fun, and obviously you won, so it's nice to see you, doing well, and you had a really good race. Lauren and Nat had a great race as well, so I was out on the course with them. That was really cool to see. Obviously, it's always nice to be out on the course with your wife and see her racing well. And then it was great to be able to watch Mega because the setup is so good that you can see all the other athletes racing when you finish your race. Great job done by Club La Santa. Brilliant pre-race organisation, brilliant race day organisation. It's one of the best races that I think is out there, like in terms of organisation and experience. I know it's only a standard distance, but I don't think there are many better races in the world than this one. Maybe I'm a bit
Paddle's
biased.
just gone a bit array.
Yeah, the paddle. That doesn't seem like a legit shot, that one. And kudos to Fabio and his team because they really are nailing it. All the way from registration through to the race finish, the awards, just perfect. They get all the important stuff's right, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I would say. So really, really good to see. So great stuff there. Beautiful conditions, beautiful course. The bike course in particular is spectacular, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wonderful conditions. Tricky swim, but there's not a lot they can do about that because it's in the lagoon and obviously the water visibility is crap. But the sunlight, the time of day and the angle of the sun, they can't do a lot about that, can they? So you've got to be just ready for that if you do it. But yeah, very highly recommended as a race. Lauren and Nat flew out just to do it. And Mega,
yeah,
didn't she wasn't coming either, was she? So the three of them flew out just to do it, kind of last minute decision. I think none of them regretted it. And the fact that relatively that's quite a lot of expense for a standard distance, but I don't think any of them regretted that choice. And I certainly think it was worth doing in the build up to the Ironman as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I was going to ask actually then, so this is the 4th time you've done this.
Yes.
And we are also preparing for Ironman Lanzarote.
Yes.
How are you using what you've learnt from the race this time round, alongside the data you've got from the 4 previous times,
Yeah.
and then making an assessment towards Ironman Lanzarote?
Yeah, it's a good question. So it's quite a long answer, so I won't make it, but I won't make it long. Obviously, what I've got is I've got my previous race performances, all, again, different conditions and a slightly different course on 2 of those occasions as well, where it wasn't the long single lap bike that we did this time and last time. What I'm able to do is, I guess, cross-reference things like my performances, my relative performance, and therefore my outcome, how I perform relative to other athletes that I'm knowledgeable about, and the effort that I had to put in to achieve those 2 things, and where I'm sitting in terms of my form, because of course form is fitness minus fatigue, and obviously in the last bit of an Ironman build your fatigue's quite high, to establish where my fitness might be. And I would say it's as good as it's been in the 4 times that I've done it, probably. Is it specifically geared towards that type of racing? No. But if I was using that type of racing to measure where my Ironman fitness is at, it's probably as good as I could have hoped for. Obviously, Ironman's a completely different kettle of fish. You know, it's a much lower intensity, a longer day, nutrition comes into it, the heat might be higher on Ironman days. It wasn't that hot yesterday. But yeah, that's how I'm using it. So, and obviously to feel good during the race, I felt great after. I mean, I felt like I'd just done a training session really. And sometimes even on a standard distance, you can be pretty spent. To have delivered the performance I did and be so well within myself was obviously nice to feel, especially after having been really knocked the week before at Gran Canaria. So yeah, it was cool. And then we trained yesterday as well. And
We did, big day.
So the race was 2 days ago, yeah, not yesterday. So yeah, we trained yesterday. You decided we were going to do a long bike.
Yeah.
It ended up being longer than I was anticipating, but you felt good, so we did a longer bike, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then we did a run off as well, and that was actually right.
Yeah, it was good. It was the right thing to do.
It was the right thing to do, yeah. It was the right thing to do in the build-up. So, yeah, all in all, a great day. Here's my trophy. It's quite a cool trophy, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah. I've actually got one this time.
Yeah. I don't know why it's a lightning bolt of the Volcano tri, but still cool.
Still cool.
It is still cool. And it was the 40th edition.
Yeah, which is also cool.
Oldest triathlon in Spain?
Spain, yeah.
Oldest in Europe? Maybe. Pretty old anyway, isn't it?
40 years, I reckon.
Yeah. Richard Hobson's done 34 of them.
Which is more than I've been alive for.
More, yeah. Kenneth was there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Which is cool. So yeah, really cool day. Really enjoyable. Highly recommended. So if you want to come, we'll probably come do it again next year, I think.
Probably.
If you fancy coming and joining in the fun. Great atmosphere as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's wicked.
So yeah, it was ace. So there we go. Volcano tri.
Completed it.
Completed it. Had a great time.